Okay, so thank you all for joining today. What a turnout. Thank you. I expect a lot of you guys are here from my TikTok video that I did yesterday, which went insane. So thank you all for your comments and thank you for not all being trolls because there were quite a few of them on there. But this presentation today is all about access to work and how it can help people from England, Scotland, and Wales to get support with their disabilities and mental health conditions to ensure that you stay in work. So I'm just going to be taking you through this presentation. It's going to be about 40 minutes to an hour, depending on how many questions we get. We're aiming to finish by 1, but if we can keep the questions in the chat, we will
Hi.
answer them afterwards. Hi guys, if you can mute on arrival, that would be
Right.
fun, because otherwise I'm going to have to keep muting you. That would be amazing. Thank you. I knew this would happen. So, first of all, who am I? For any of you guys who don't know who I am, my name's Maddie. I'm one of the founders of Mad About Money app. The other founder, Vix, is on this call. Vix, give people a wave if you can see her. Um, I'm a corporate money and wellbeing trainer. So I help people within the workplace environment to be better with their money, with saving, with spending, with financial wellbeing, and also with things like access to work. It does help that I am not only neurodivergent, but I also have an autoimmune disease called Hashimoto's, which is not particularly pleasant. Perimenopause, not that you can get access to work for that, which is annoying. PMDD, which is a bit like bipolar. And also as well, I do have lots of other ailments. So there's lots of things that I can get it from. I do have anxiety. Although weirdly enough, not when I'm presenting to a room full of people, because I've done it in my corporate job for a very long time. So for any of the trolls that were on yesterday going, oh, she doesn't have anxiety because she can go on a video, I'm like, okay, that's not really how it works. But anyway, so my story, I'm just going to give you a really, really brief overview of who I am and why I decided to set Mad About Money up. So basically, I have always been a money person. I have been basically a savvy saver for the last 10 years. But before that, I was £40,000 in debt. And I was struggling with my mental health. I was struggling with my well-being. I had an undiagnosed spending addiction, which was as a result of my ADHD. And I was a proper mess. I took a long time sorting myself out, digging deep, working out how I could save money and be better all round. And then I started a TikTok account to help people to be better with their money and to live a better life and essentially be able to find little tips and tricks to make things a bit more enjoyable with cost of living. Now, the reason I started a social media platform was because I was absolutely sick to death of social media platforms trying to sell to me all the time. I thought it was horrible. And I just, as somebody who's had previous spending addiction, I thought it was a really good idea for me to create something where people didn't feel that pressure, somewhere where they could get support, advice, they could learn, and essentially somewhere where everybody can support each other. So that was the reason why I started Mad About Money app. So I hope that you guys are enjoying it. If you are enjoying the app, if you can leave me a review, that would be amazing because it helps us to help more people. So, what is access to work? So, access to work is a government funded scheme which helps people to stay in work. You can be self employed, you can be employed, you can be in an apprenticeship, or you can be about to start a new role. Whoever's not on mute, would you mind muting, please? It's very distracting for my ADHD brain, guys. Sorry. You do not need to be formally diagnosed. So, what I mean here is you do not need a piece of paper to say that you have ADHD or autism or dyslexia. You just need to be aware of your symptoms. Okay. The aim of this is to level up the playing field for people who have got disabilities and mental health conditions. ADHD and autism are classed as disabilities, so that is a question answered for anybody who wanted to know. There is a wide range of things that you can get, and you can get up to £66,000 per person in funding, which is amazing. Unfortunately, the process is not particularly fun or neurodivergent friendly. It's actually quite a tough process. So it's one of those things where I feel like we need to be holding your hand. And from the comments yesterday on my TikTok, there are a lot of people who have applied for this who have not got very much support because they haven't really known what to ask for. I was incredibly lucky and I knew what to ask for because I had some coaching before I applied, from two lovely ladies, Charlotte Dover, who is my ADHD coach, and another lady called Rachel Beattie. Both of those ladies are lovely. They both run communities on Facebook, Maybe ADHD and NeuroBoost, which is a neurodivergent friendly community for people who are working as a self-employed person or a limited company who have ADHD or autism. So go and check those guys out. So what access to work is, it helps you to stay in work if you have a physical health condition or disability or a mental health condition. It depends on what your needs are. You can apply for a grant to help you to pay for support with practical stuff in your work, with managing your health and well-being, money to pay for communication support, job interviews. And also as well, you can pay for things like sign language people, lip readers, note takers, adaptations to your vehicle, taxi fares. Obviously, if you've got ADHD or autism, like things like taxi fares, they would be if you're scared of public transport, for example, but it helps you to get to work because nobody likes that anxiety of getting on a train when they feel like they're not fitting in there. Support workers or job coaches. Now, this is probably the most beneficial thing that I've got. So I use Charlotte Dover as my coach, but there are lots of different coaches for lots of different things around. So in particular, I help people with basically life. So anything from money to how your symptoms are showing up to helping you to progress in self-employment, helping you to get more visible. But also I spent quite a long time as a work coach in my corporate career beforehand. So before I became self-employed. So I also do stuff like that for you as well. So how do you get started? So first of all, you need to apply at on the Gov website. So it's .gov.uk/access-to-work. There's a lot of pages, and annoyingly, when you start, you don't know how many there are going to be. There are a fair few, but I can guarantee you that it will be possible to do under 30 minutes if you're prepared and you come with all of the things that I tell you to. The important thing is to get it done because there is a 14 to 16 week delay at the moment. So it does take a while for your grants to be approved. So the sooner you get the application in, the better. If anybody needs help or support with the grants, or they've got a question they're stuck with, the Mad About Money app is where people should be directing their initial questions. So things that you need to provide to access to work and things that you need to know. So you need to be really aware of how your condition actually affects you. And one of the ways that I would suggest doing this is actually keeping a log, keeping a journal. So write down on a daily basis how you're feeling, what things you're struggling with. So you can kind of put together a bit of a case study because you're going to be entitled to more stuff if you can prove that it's affecting you in a more diverse way. How do you think that access to work can help you? What are you already doing? Because you don't need to worry too much about the detail on this part because you're actually going to be called. You'll get called by a caseworker who will go through all of it with you. And I would really recommend when your caseworker calls that you have all of the notes, you know what you want to ask for, because if you don't ask for it on that initial call, you won't get it, and it's going to be really hard to add to it afterwards. Depending on how long you get your grant approved for, will be when you need to reapply. So, for example, because my business has only been going for a year, I only got a year's worth of funding, so I have to make that last. And when you're budgeting, you do have to budget your access to work grant because you don't want it to go on things that you don't need it to go on. So if anybody needs help with that as well, that is something that we can support with within the app. So you need to know your working hours. This is how many hours you actually work, not how many you're contracted to work, if that makes sense. So, for example, if you're in an employed job and you're working more, you can put that down, but you do need to be aware that if you're in in a job where you are actually employed by somebody, they do have to sign it off. So you do need to be honest. They will get visibility of your application. If you're self-employed, you need your UTR, which is your unique taxpayer reference number, for anybody who doesn't know what the acronym means. If you're self-employed, you will need a turnover of at least £64,000 to be eligible, or you need to provide a business plan which will show how much you're planning on earning. You'll need your contact details. You'll need your workplace address. And that's about all. But make sure that you've got those sorted. And we are going to be running a workshop for people so that you can actually do it with us on a call. So we will all sit there in silence and we'll all do the application together for those of you guys who need the support to do it. And I will be there for the hour answering questions. So, you know, I don't want you guys to feel like you're doing this on your own. So what type of support can you get? And this is really, really useful for everybody to think about the sort of thing that they want to apply for. So first of all, you can ask for a flexible work schedule. So if you're in an employed role and you're struggling with full-time or you're struggling with part-time and you want to do different hours, you can ask for flexible working. You can ask for mental health support in the form of counselling, which is really useful. A quiet workspace so that you've got somewhere that you can be. You can also request, if you are working in the office, to work from home. That can be a really, really good adaptation, which doesn't actually cost you any money. Technology. So you can apply for things like Grammarly if you've got dyslexia, or systems or softwares like Trello or Monday.com if you need to organise your own work diary. You can have things like Calendly for organising your work situation, because God, the amount of times I double book myself, and Calendly is a lifesaver. I don't ever remember meetings. You're lucky I showed up today. Training and development. Sorry for the typo there. I've just seen that. That's terrible. You see dyslexia here, over there, over here as well. So training for development. So things like if you want to improve your work skills, and there's a course that you want to go on, you can apply for things like that. Workplace organisation. So that could be anything from diary management or organising your meetings, organising your notebooks. So I'm just going to give you guys a bit of a demonstration of my remarkable tablet that I got. So this is, if you've not seen one of these before, they are an electronic notepad that helps you to organise all of your thoughts and inner musings. Very, very useful for if you don't like having many, many notepads. And I'm sure any of you ADHDers out there will understand the doom piles of notebooks that most people accumulate over time. So that's really useful. Coaching. You can have coaching on numerous things which help you within the workplace. So things like obviously your symptoms. So if you have ADHD or autism, there are coaches available who can help you to manage those symptoms and help you to kind of find coping strategies and ways around. Money. There is an awful lot of people that don't know that you can actually get support with your finances, especially if you have problems with spending, problems with budgeting. There are people like myself and Vix, who's also on the call, who can help you with coaching when it comes to money. Business coaching. If you are somebody who struggles with processes and systems and marketing, there's stuff that you can get to support you there as well. But it's all types of coaching. Confidence coaching, personality coaching, whatever you need, have a think about the types of coaching that you think you might need within your workplace. You can also get a support worker or a personal assistant if you're self-employed. Someone who can actually help you to manage your diary, someone who can help you to stay on top of the admin stuff and all the rubbishy bits that you really hate doing. Think about your everyday, day-to-day life and what would help you in a scenario to help you to make your work life a lot easier. So, for example, I've got a virtual assistant, Sophie. She is absolutely incredible. She mainly made this presentation for me. She's very wonderful, but she does anything and everything that I throw at her, because sometimes I just can't cope with the amount of admin that I've got. So it's really useful to have somebody. A support worker can help you with things like challenges in the workplace. They can help you with, talking to your manager, or, asking for accommodations. And that's, again, something that I can help you with. So some of the things that you need to think about, check your eligibility. So first of all, there are a couple of people who are not eligible. Civil servants are sadly not eligible. People who live in Northern Ireland, sorry, again, this one isn't for you. You need to be over 16 to be able to claim. And you need to either be working in a self-employed position or in an employed position, or you need to be starting work within the next 12 weeks. So you can apply before you start so that you've got accommodations. It might not be ready by the time you get in. The application process is on the Gov website. I've put the link in the Mad About Money app, so if anybody needs to find it, it's there. It is a laborious task. It is very frustrating. It's not very neurodivergent friendly. It's not very disability friendly. I'm hoping that at some point this process will get easier, because it is quite tough on people, which is why we're going to be running that live session so that people can actually apply on the phone with us. Assessment. So once you've submitted your assessment details, you will get a claim worker who will get in contact with you, and they will assess you. And sometimes they can be absolute bastards. Sorry to swear. Sometimes they're really amazing, and sometimes they really listen to you. But if you go prepared for your call with a list of things that, a list of your conditions, a list of how they affect you, and a list of the things that you think would help you in your day-to-day life, then you have much more chance of actually getting approved for the things that you're asking for. If you just say, I need support with my ADHD, they will probably make a decision, and they'll probably go with something very, very small and just give you something to fob you off. You don't want that, because actually you are entitled to this money. If you're working, you are a taxpayer, and you can get this grant. Okay. Think about the types of support that you need. Think about whether or not you might need, travel or transport or mental health, or even physical things like a sit-down, stand-up desk, or a remarkable tablet, things that will help you, and give reasons why you need those things. There are some financial considerations. So for self-employed people, you are required to pay for your support up front. Now, this can be a bit of a game changer for people, because if you don't have the money to start with, it can be a bit of a block to you getting this grant. You need to pay, and then you get it reimbursed. So with my remarkable tablet, I did pay £550 up front to get that, and then I claimed it back, and it did take a while to come back. I think it was about 12 weeks. So just to be aware. Also, as well, with your coaching, lots of coaches will ask you to pay them up front, and then they will claim the money back from HMRC. However, there are some nice ones around. So depending on who you get, and what type of support you need, say, for example, you wanted me to be your coach. If I've got the time and the availability to be your coach, I can do that. And I'm happy to put it all through HMRC. And as long as you've been approved for your Access to Work grant, I'm happy to wait until they pay me, so you don't have to pay me first. But there's not very many people who will do that. So I just try and look after people. So that's something to bear in mind. Claiming your grant. So once you've been approved, you will get access to a portal where you have to submit your own claims. Now, as a neurodivergent person, I know that this is horrific. So I actually get Sophie, my VA, to do this for me. You get them to sign in on your behalf, and then they can upload the invoices. But make sure you do it in a timely manner, because otherwise the people who are working for you don't get paid. So it is something that you do need to remember to do. So set alarms in your diary, get your virtual assistant or your work person to help you. How to find your support worker. So hopefully you guys are on the call because you've either applied or you need somebody to help you. There are lots and lots of people around. I am one of them. Charlotte is another. Nick's another. If we can keep on mute, guys, that'll be fab. But there are lots and lots of people who will take Access to Work and will be able to help you. It just depends on the type of support you want. So just make sure that if you are looking for a support worker, you know the type of support worker you want. You kind of know what you need help with, because there's no point in going to an ADHD coach and asking them to help you to grow your business, because they're not necessarily going to know how to do that. There's no point going to somebody who's a confidence coach and asking them to help you with your money, because that's also not going to work. Do you need any language support? So do you need a translator? Do you need somebody to help you with sign language, or any other kind of communication barriers? Have a think about those. Travel. So reasonable adaptations to vehicles to help you to get to work, paying for public transport, paying for somebody like a support worker to travel with you if you can't travel on your own for any particular reason, or you have anxiety. Those sorts of things are available that you can claim to. Work out how long you need the support for. So work out how long the grant is, and then spread your sessions, and make sure that you don't have all of your sessions up front in one go and then spend the next 2 years without any funding. Make sure that you think about what you need and how long you need it for. Your employer. So if you're self-employed, your employer will have full visibility of your application. They will also be the person who is meant to be paying for the stuff that you need in advance, and then they get it reimbursed. We do come across issues with employers where they do say no to things. So try and have a conversation with your employer before you apply. It's so much easier to apply when you're self-employed, because you're the person who knows what the condition is and what you need help with. Don't let your employer choose for you, and don't let them try and push you back. It is actually their legal entitlement to help you with this. So make sure that you are asking the questions. And of course, if there's a change in your circumstances, I mean, it's very, very unlikely that you're going to change a disability. But if you do have a change in circumstances with regards to your job or your self-employment status or your business, you do need to let HMRC know, because otherwise you can get in trouble. So there is help available. So as I mentioned before, we're going to be doing the Get It Done sessions in the Mad About Money app. Also as well in the Maybe ADHD community on Facebook. Charlotte does them as well. Charlotte hangs around in the app as well quite a bit. So if there's any questions for her, sadly she couldn't make it today. But we are going to be confirming dates. So make sure you keep coming back to the app and checking. There will be people on the call to help you to go through the whole process. So if you want to do the process with us, we're at least there to help answer your questions. It can take 16 weeks plus to actually get your grant through. It's hard work trying to apply, but the sooner you apply, the more likely chance you've got of actually doing anything. These are my contact details. So I'm hanging around in the app most days, or on TikTok, so people know how to get me there. But this is my email address if anybody needs anything. If anybody wants to inquire about coaching with either myself or Charlotte, or Vix, who's on the call, then that's something that we can help you with separately. So let's stop this now. I'm not going to stop the recording, because actually I feel that we can probably benefit from hearing all these questions, can't we? There are so many of you guys on today. I love it. Right. Okay. So let's have a look through these. Yeah, definitely difficult. Definitely difficult. It's very difficult to refocus, isn't it, when somebody interrupts you? Yes, this is being recorded, so you will be able to watch it back. Hello from Wiltshire, Joanne Barker. It doesn't help you to get work employment. It doesn't help you to get work employment or make your own job. No, it doesn't. So you would need to have an idea of a business that you wanted to start and have a business plan ready. If you haven't started making money from a business, you need to show how you're going to make that money. In fact, I think I've got a business plan template which I can put in the app for you. So if that's going to help, we can do that for you. Paul applied for access to work on the 16th of November. We'll contact you about your application in the next 12 weeks. Yeah, bless you. Okay, so 12 weeks is a very, very short estimation in their time. I would say more like 16. It can be quite a long process. Well, do you know what? If they haven't contacted you, Paul, don't worry too much, because it's just a rough idea on the application. The good thing about talking to your work coach is that you can actually have a bit of time to prepare, and then you've got a list of things that you can ask for. I will put a list in the app of like the sorts of things that you can apply for, just so that you've got that. Paul, would you like to speak, my love? Of
Yeah, I was going to ask a question.
course
When
you
you say
can.
the app, so I was introduced to you by a friend. I don't know.
Oh,
Prior to this call, I don't know who Maddie is. Sorry.
oh.
So
I mean, I'm not famous or anything, so it's fine. You are forgiven.
right, and
Um,
so when
so
you refer to app, I don't know what it is that.
yes, okay, I will tell you about that then. Gives me a good segue. I mean, I haven't paid this guy, by the way, guys. So I run an app called Mad About Money, which is a social media platform that's neurodivergent friendly. When we say neurodivergent friendly, the content is neurodivergent friendly. We're working on the technology because it's not necessarily quite there yet, but we are working on it. It's basically an app where people who have got neurodivergence or disabilities or autoimmune diseases or people who just want to be around people and support people who have those conditions can come and hang out and learn more about money, entrepreneurship, family life, fitness, well-being, all that sort of stuff. So it's quite a useful place to hang out. I think there's quite a few people who are in the call who have downloaded it. If anybody is loving it, please leave me a review on the App Store. I'd be very appreciative. So that's what the app is, Paul. So did you have any more questions? Was
And
it
it's
just
called Mad About Money, is it?
Mad About Money? Yeah, it's free to download in the App Store. It will not cost you a penny. The only thing that costs you money in the app is that we have discounted vouchers in our voucher store, which you buy, and instead of using cash, you can pay for things with vouchers, and it saves you money. So that's the only thing that you can buy. You can also buy some of our paid workshops. So we do have some workshops that we deliver which are paid for. And we're about to launch a wellbeing subscription as well, which is quite exciting. But you will not get charged just for hanging around in the app and posting questions and engaging with people.
Amazing.
Um,
Thank you.
you are so welcome. Also, just as a perk for anybody who hasn't downloaded it, every single month we run cost of living giveaways. So just by being registered and having the app, you could be in with a chance of winning gift vouchers to pay for your Christmas shopping. And we're announcing early December who wins £250. So yeah, always good to know. So we have more messages. Let's have a look. UTR is unique taxpayer reference number. So that's your reference number that you get when you register to pay tax as a self-employed person. £66,000 is the 60, 64 or 66. I think it was 64. So if I said 66, sorry, it's my fault. It's 64. If you already have Calendly, can you claim that? No, sadly, you can't claim for things that you've already got. They have to be new things because it's helping you to be better in the circumstance that you've got. Glean for recording meetings. Yes, that's a really great shout. Can you have multiple types of coach? Yes, you can. You can. Obviously, depending on the budget that you get, but the more types of things that you ask for, the better. Can it help with setting up a business? Not really. You kind of need to have, as I said before, an idea of what you're doing. Tara says she is a virtual assistant that might be able to help people. She can provide her details. Yeah, technically not a sales call, but yeah, all right, Tara, I'll let you off. Jennifer's got her application back and the worker was rubbish, had no idea what to do. She wanted loop earplugs, and they said which headphones I had to buy. Yeah, sadly, you have to be really firm with them about the sort of things that you want. If that was me, I would have said I can't wear overhead headphones because they irritate me and I can't wear them as an ADHD person. So if anybody is asking for noise cancelling headphones or anything like that, just be wary that they might try and push back. How long do you need to put aside to do the application form? It should be about half an hour. But with us, we'll be doing it for an hour because there's going to be questions and there's going to be things that people are going to be asking. If you get access if you get PIP, you can still get access to work. Is a completely different, it's a different benefit altogether. Do I know anybody who can help with business plans? Yes, we do have somebody in the app called Ruth Choi who can help with business plans. So I'll put you in contact with her. You don't need a formal diagnosis. They do accept your word and understanding of your needs. Yes, they do. I know it does seem a bit crazy, but they do just accept your word for it. So, I mean, that is not an excuse for people to go and take advantage of this system, because it is there for people who genuinely need it. But yes, they will take your word for it. Doesn't conflict with any other benefits. So yeah, 64k is do you know what, now I'm questioning myself. It's either 66 or 64. But it does depend on individual circumstances. Usually you'll get it approved for 3 years over a 3-year period. But if you're self-employed or newly self-employed, they might give it to you just for a year, just because they want to make sure that your business carries on trading. Shanique, was your conditions progressive? If I ask for some types of help and my condition changes, that is always a tough one, because once you've got it approved, it is hard to ask for other things. Doesn't mean you can't ask, but it will depend on your caseworker. Oh, sorry, yeah, your turnover needs to be 6,400. The maximum grant is 64k. Sorry, that's a typo, guys. I'm sorry. Again, my dyslexia. Please forgive me. So being diagnosed with ADHD, are you more likely to get help? No, you don't need a diagnosis. It doesn't matter if you've got a diagnosis or you just think you might have ADHD or autism. You can apply for both. So your sister works and studies at the university. She has no support. Sadly, it's not for people who are studying. If they're in an apprenticeship or a work environment, then they can apply. Okay. As far as I know, anyway, that's not the case. But you can apply for support through your university, so you can get things like help with dyslexia, but it's more from the university fund rather than from Access to Work. If your house is a complete tip because you can't keep on top of things, could you use the money for a declutterer? I have heard of people getting that approved. I didn't, but then I forgot to ask for it. So my opinion on this kind of thing is, if you don't ask, you don't get. So try it. This is per application, so it's up to 66k per application, which should be over 3 years. Do you need to say how much your coach costs? Yes, you do. So basically, what will happen once you get your grant allocated, you will be asked for quotes for various different services. So they will ask you for like how much your person charges for an hourly rate or for a session, and then you have to feed that back to them. So there is a bit of paperwork to do after you've had your assessment. They will ask you to go and do a bit of research, and then they will let you know how much money you're going to get. Yeah, sorry, it's all right, Shaniqua. Don't worry about apologising for typos. There's plenty in this presentation. And you're more than welcome, Joey. Here to help. Can the money go to other neurodiverse needs as a parent, single parent? Mental health, yes, as long as that's something that is affecting you in the workplace. Your sister works at university. Where have I gone? I think that for your limited company, if your money, yes, you can. So if your limited company isn't making money, yes, you can still apply. You need to provide a business plan to show that you're going to make that £6,400 in a year, because otherwise they won't give it to you. So that, my friends, is bang on 40 minutes. I did quite well there with my timing, seeing as I have massive ADHD time blindness. I did really well. So does anybody else have any questions? Does anybody want to come on and ask anything else? Oh, I'm glad it was helpful, guys. Thank you.
Hi.
Hey, Jennifer, how are you, my love?
Hi, thank you. Obviously I've you've answered one of my questions already, which was obviously I've got the grant. They've given me £1,600, and obviously I was really railroaded. Everything that I was suggesting, which I literally just clicked on a website to find out what to ask for, because there was no guidance or anything. They said, okay, well, you have to get this headset, you have to get this specific desk that raises, and they literally have put this into an email. You have to use this counselling service. So now I've got the application.
Did you apply through somebody like that helps? No.
No,
So I was
I just did
wondering,
it like
oh,
blind because obviously there wasn't anything around online that I could find to do with it.
bless
So
you.
my question would be now is, I mean, I've tried to get in touch with him to say, look, do I have to get these things that, I want these, I don't want this. I
Yeah,
want the,
I would go back to them and justify your case and say, I want these because of that reason. And actually,
Mhm.
they're cheaper than what you've suggested or whatever. I just say, look, and I know that you can because I know other people that have got them. So just try and dig your heels in a bit, I would.
Yeah, and then what about, obviously they only gave me 12 set sessions for coaching as well, which I thought was, well, 12 is what the NHS, give for mental health, but
It
I do,
is, yeah.
it's,
Yeah,
um,
that's not very normal. I think I got something like 22 sessions, so it's like two a month.
mm, yeah,
So I would work out whether or not there is phone access to work and work out if there's complaints. Just say, look, I think I've been duped. I've been duped here,
yeah,
and everybody else that I've spoken to has got way more and has actually got the support they needed, and I can't afford to do this on the money you've given me. So please, can I talk to somebody and appeal it? I would.
okay. All right, thank you, Maddie. I really
You're
appreciate
welcome, my
that.
love. You're welcome. Does anybody else have any questions?
I'm just
By the way,
sending you an email. I'm
you're
just
sending
sending
me an
you.
email.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
cool. No
Yeah.
worries.
Cheers. Cheers.
That is fine, lovely. No worries. Well, thank you all guys for coming on live today. The replay of this will be available in the Mad About Money app, so make sure that you put it there. I was just going to say, if anybody has, if you guys have actually really enjoyed today, if you could leave me a LinkedIn testimonial recommendation, that would be absolutely wonderful because um, it helps me to be able to help people more. So if you're liking the app, if you've enjoyed today's session, you found it useful and you've got some value from it, just please leave me a recommendation somewhere or put a post in the app to say how good it was. Whatever, just something that's going to stroke my ego a little bit so I can get the courage to do this again. Oh, good. So I will basically, if you connect with me, as in fact, I'll show you guys how to do it. Wait there. I'll find my link. What am I doing? Hang on, escape. Don't want to be in there. You guys still there? You are still there. I just lost you. That was terrifying. I think there's a lot of people going now, so that's fine. But yeah, if you guys go to LinkedIn and you find me, it's Maddie Alexander-Grout. This is what I look like. And then there's like a three dots thing over here where you can recommend somebody.
Maddie,
So,
just let you know, we're not seeing your screen.
oh, that would be why, because I'm not sharing it. I mean, I'm not great at everything, I think I did well enough to actually do the presentation. So
Yeah, you smashed it.
thank you. Maddie Alexander-Grout, this is me. And there is over on here, it's not on mine because obviously this is my profile. I can show you Vix's actually. I'll show you Vix's. So if anyone wants to connect with Vix, she's on here as well. Vix is my lovely co-founder. She looks after all the crap stuff that I don't like. She's amazing. So there should be a little, it's not even there. What the hell? More. Here we go. More. So if you go to more, there is a recommend thing, and then you can leave a recommendation there. So thank you guys. That is amazing. Would really appreciate that. Any final questions before I close down the call? Sorry, Claire, was that you? Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, just one
Hello,
quick.
lovely.
So I was the one that asked about the business plan because I'm
Yes.
dyslexic and dyspraxic, so paperwork for me is just like, don't even go there.
I feel you. I really feel you.
I run two businesses, so would I need to put in two different business plans? Because one I literally started over the summer.
Okay. Is there one that's running already and making money?
Not really. So I run
What?
a network marketing. I'm part of a network marketing company.
Okay.
That hasn't really been making money. And I stepped away, but I'm coming back to it. And then I started pet sitting. It started off just helping friends, and then this summer it just blew up into a business. So
I would probably apply for the one that's your own business.
okay.
Is it a limited company? Have you set it up as a limited company?
No, it's sole trader.
Okay. You might need to provide things like bank statements and stuff, but just beware that they might ask for the business plan behind it.
Yeah.
We've definitely got a template that you could use.
Okay.
I'll put something in the app for you.
Thank you.
but because otherwise you are looking at paying someone to do it, which is can be quite expensive. If I can give you the bare bones of something, they don't ask for something, you know, it's not all bells and whistles. They don't want a fully functional, like 20-page massive document. They just want like a bit of an idea.
Okay, yeah.
In fact, my accountant actually sent me one because I had to do one, so I'll send it to you.
Okay, thank you, Maddie. Appreciate it.
No worries. Anyone else? No, amazing. Have a wonderful day. Thank you all so much for listening. And make sure if you haven't downloaded the app already, you go and do it. Thanks all for being here. See you later, guys.